House to Home gives practical tips and recommendations to keep your house up to date. Sponsored by Avista.
And welcome back to House to Home. Again, I'm Clyde Haase along with Isaiah Payne with the Home Builders Association, and our special guest from House to Home has been Tom Lienhard with Avista. I can't say enough positive things about your involvement, and especially with Avista, how you're looking at endorsing what we're doing and trying to get the information out there. So again, Tom Lienhard, Avista, engineering evaluation engineer, energy efficiency, engineer. So Tom, tell us, why is Avista interested in working with the home builders and getting information out?
Well, no matter how simple a project may look, oftentimes they're pretty complicated to get done. And we may look at a project and say, well, I can do all of that, or I know how this is going to go. But in truth, once you start talking to the pros and looking what's going on, you maybe jumped over the spot when you were supposed to get a permit. And you might have jumped over the spot where you were supposed to check to see if that basement plumbing actually was okay before you started redoing it. And so we're going to give incentives to try to help you do things that are going to save energy in your home. But in the long term, we want you to make your home a wonderful place to live, which means thinking about and understanding and talking to pros that are going to help you get that work done in a manner that gives you a long-term experience, not just, I got a little bit of granite put in. So.
Right. Well, Tom, you know, you and I have shared some ideas of how you can go through your home and work on the energy efficiency and saving dollars. What is that machine that you go around and you look around the walls, the door? What is that one called? I mean, things like that to me just fascinate me because that's just the dollars flowing away, Isaiah. I mean, it's, Dom says, oh, there's some spots up there. Oh, no, there's another one over here. He goes crazy over it. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's my infrared camera. And
okay.
we shouldn't make everybody have to buy one, even though they are getting less and less expensive. We would really rather that the job was done right the first time so that you're not looking around for where you're leaking and where there are holes. And that's really why Avista wants to be a part of the Spokane Home Builders and the Find a Pro program, because we just believe that there's so many things that people don't know when they start. Even one of the most important things that you and I have discussed several times, just because you know what your project's going to be doesn't mean you know how much it's going to cost. And we believe that you should always get 2 or 3 bids. Well, to get 2 or 3 bids, you'd like to know 2 or 3 really good pros that can do it. So you can
They're hard
get
to
those
find
bids.
sometimes.
And so to me, that's one of the biggest parts of Find a Pro, is to be able to say, here's the people that you can talk to. Make sure you pull out the equipment from the labor so that when you look at those bids, you know the difference between them. And these are the kind of pros that will do that for you and give you the kind of answers that you need to make a good decision for your future.
Well, Tom, you're giving us a lot of good information here. Folks, what he's saying is that Avista is wanting to get involved in saving you money, not just sending you money by the homeowner to Avista. But Avista is going to come back to you and say, hey, how can we help you save money? Because it's energy, right?
It is. Not only, we have so much energy to give out, and if we don't have to go get new energy at a higher cost, then we don't have to spend as much money, and it won't cause rates to go up. But we know rates are going up. We know that there's more and more push to have more renewables and things like that. So because we know they're going up, then the very best thing we can do is try to use the least amount when we do build your house or remodel or do whatever, so that at least the impact to you will be less.
Okay, with that being said, Tom, are there programs ongoing all the time as a existing homeowner with an existing home that he can look at? I mean, I'll be honest with you folks, I put on this black shirt today and I should have had a white one on because it's summertime out there, but it's time to start thinking about winter next, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so are there programs on the come to happening that you know of that you could share with us at this time that maybe be of some value?
You bet. If you want, just like you're going to go to the home builder site to Find a Pro, you can come to the Avista site, look for energy savings, and you'll find our rebates that are there available if you're wanting to insulate your home or put new windows in or do different things to your home that are going to save you energy. That will maybe help you hire an HVAC contractor to put in a new furnace. If you look at our services at the same time, you might find out by spending an extra $250 on a better furnace, we would give you an incentive to pay for that extra amount of money so that you use less energy when you're done.
Well, Avista is at the bottom line, and that's what you're saying, Tom. Well, people have got their pads out. You're making some notes here. Can you give us a website, Tom, so that they can go and check these out?
It's myavista.com. And
pretty simple.
Yeah, and it's find your energy savings. Is if you pulled it up on your phone, you'd see the thing, find my energy savings, and it goes to all the rebate material that we have.
Can I ask Isaiah, do we have a website for the Spokane Home? I know we're doing these all at one time here. Go ahead.
Yeah, SHBA.com is our website. Right there at the top, you can click on Find a Pro, and that will take you to the interface where whatever type of project that it is, whatever you need done in your home, you can find a pro who's knowledgeable, who's there to help you, walk you through the process, and have the kind of the best outcome, the most cost-effective and efficient outcome in that project. That's what our pros are there to do.
Okay. Tom, are you seeing some of the things that are going to be new as far as can I employ somebody to come out and do a test around the doors and so forth? How is that going to happen? Can that take place? Can they request it?
There are probably auditors and evaluators that are part of Spokane Home
That's
Builders.
what I'm asking.
And so that's another place where you can look to find a pro. We are starting a home audit system at Avista as well, but honestly, most people already know where their problems are. And if you already know where your problems are, then it's okay to go to this home builder site and say, hey, which pro do I need to take a look at this? The other thing that I want to point out is that I've had Tom's tips. I've been online for so long with all of my things, and people say, Tom, where did you get all that knowledge? You got all these nuggets you're tossing out. Well, it came from the people at Isaiah's Home Builders Association that I've known for years, that I've gathered that information from. So if you want to know where I got all of my tips and tricks, it's from the same pros that you're going to find at the Home Builders Association.
Well, they work together hand in hand is what you're saying. And I think that is the most important thing. I think that you're going to find as we move along here, folks, you're going to see more tips from the home building. But I was also talking to a couple of builders, and they said, there are some regulations, and again, I'm now a little bit political, the regulations that are fitting into this, that the price is driving our homes up in value. And Tom, I know you guys watch it really close on some of these energy regulations. Any comments you want to make at this time?
Well, thank you for the loaded question.
Tom's a friend of mine.
No, I guess my point would really be, regardless of the reason for some new codes and standards, and sometimes even the builders aren't going to understand why they decided to do something. We recognize that probably there was some good intent behind it.
Yes.
But in order to keep costs down, we have to look and as hard as we can look to make sure that we're getting the best pros to do that kind of work, regardless of what it is. And so they're also going to know the things that they need to do to fix your home and keep it up to standard and code.
Well, I'm leading you a little bit along that line, Tom, because as we move forward, we're going to be talking about the cost of building a home. We're going to be talking to the builders. And I want our listening audience to say, I have a question for those guys. What do you do with it? Well, you can either get through avista.com or the Spokane Home Builders and get us those questions, and we can do some research, and we can come back to you and share with you on what we found out. Why is that happening? Or what is taking place, and how does it affect the value of the home? I know one of the builders says, my gosh, you would be surprised. It added an extra couple $1,000s on the value of the home. And it doesn't sound like much when you're talking about $200,000, $300,000, but it's all part of the bottom line. Is that right? I mean,
what it is, right? And new homes are putting pressure on people with older homes.
Right.
Because even before they leave, they want to fix it up enough to get the most money that they can from it. So this isn't about building new homes only. It's also about what do you want to do to fix your home up if you're going to trade or make a sale. And these people have the best knowledge on how to do that. Here's a small example. I'm remodeling my basement. I asked the tile guy, I said, what's it going to be to fully tile these 2 bathrooms that are in my basement? And he said, if you go full tile, it's 3 times the cost as if you use a pan and tile up above the pan. Well, I wanted full tile, so I paid for it. But the truth was, this guy was pro enough to tell me, if you would like to get by a little bit less expensive, here's a way that you can do it, and you can cut $4,000 off the cost of that shower. That, to me, is why you go to a pro, because they are more than willing to tell you the things that you need to know to make that thing look good, but still not cost too much.
Well, Tom, Isaiah, we have a lot of things to talk to our viewing audience here, and we have a lot of things to go over and be discussing. We have a lot of people we're going to be talking to as we move along. Again, website is going to be, if people have a question right now,
myavista.com for any rebates that you're doing on that work.
or just good general information.
For good general information. And
okay.
Yep, and then SHBA.com. And yeah, we're really looking forward to this program. You know, we're not here to scare anybody.
No.
We want to provide, we're going to have some experts on, provide some really helpful tips. But at a certain point, these things do get complex sometimes. There's all sorts, like we talked about, energy codes and different regulations. And at a certain point, it's necessary to call a pro. And we want to help provide that knowledgeable expert for your home.
Well, folks, there you have it from the experts. Again, I should have done that before I started my deck project, Tom, and Isaiah, because I almost called you guys directly. But folks, that's what this whole show is going to be about, is that full of information, educating, combining of the best people around, and 2 outstanding companies, Avista along with the Spokane Home Builders, and we're going to invest you in your knowledge to come and ask a pro what the next step is. Should I hire it done? Should I do it myself? Or what do I do? Because that's how I started the program here today. I need help. I'm frustrated. So until next time, I'm Clyde Haase. We'll see you next time on House to Home.
To help you be safe, Washington state law requires you to call 811 2 full business days before you plan, for example, to dig, drill, plow, pull from, or pound anything into the ground. Be prepared to provide the operator with the correct address, cross street, and the description of your work. You must mark the dig area with white paint. The operator will inform you of the utilities notified of your impending excavation. Wait for all their marks. Be safe and dig with care.
When building a home or considering a major remodel, who are you going to choose? The Spokane Home Builders Association is an organization that works to elevate professionalism in the residential construction industry. We promote, protect, and educate for our community, building our community one home at a time. We are the Spokane Home Builders Association.
Here at River Ridge Hardware, we carry a great selection of Krylon brand spray paints, Color Master, general purpose, the Rust Protector for taking care of metal, Fusion for taking care of plastics, and the Supermax that can take care of it all.
Weather in the inland Northwest can wear you down. And if your gutters are in poor condition or you do not have gutters, you could suffer damage that could cost a fortune to fix. Rainman Seamless Rain Gutters has almost 30 years of professional experience in serving the inland Northwest region and strives to ensure customer service that is second to none, from the time you call to the end of the project.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Avista.